Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, transitioning to Roth IRAs effectively, part 4 in our series on tax-favored retirement strategies with retirement consultant Jamie Hibbard. Welcome to the 4th segment, Jamie.
Thank you.
Hey, I also want to talk about your book, The Red Zone of Retirement. Easy read, totally built for consumers. You can down this in about a good hour and a half, you're done.
Yeah.
I like this. It talks about some of the dangers, issues in the 5 years before and the 10 years after that retirement date, and it walks you through some of the basic concepts and a little bit of using some of these ideas like Roths and cash value life insurance as well. Easy to read. You can go out to their website, pick it up, and I think it's worth the read. You should do this just because it's another one of those consumer products that they'll make you educated and give you a little upside, a little FYI for your retirement. Let's talk about now. We bought in the last segment. We bought the life insurance out of the contract. Now we got to get the rest of the money out of there, right?
Right.
And I don't want to pay any taxes. Now I guess I'm going to have to pay something here to get it out of here, but maybe it's most efficient.
Yeah.
Now I noticed that the government allows us to take any qualified monies apparently that we can take from a profit sharing plan and move it on an institution free to a Roth IRA.
That's correct.
Now tell me, I'm going to have to pay taxes on that.
You will have to pay taxes.
Oh, wait a minute now. Well, I'm going to ask you something here.
Yeah.
What do I need to know as a consumer? Do I need to know my effective tax bracket before I do this?
You do. It's very important because as you start taking this income or taking this and converting it from your traditional qualified plan, in this case the profit sharing plan, and converting it to the Roth, you're going to have this income tax that's due to you, which could potentially bump you up into different income tax, marginal income tax brackets. Okay,
so let's say the first thing I need to do before I even do this is I need to determine what my effective tax bracket is today. So we're looking at all my deductions, my exemptions. I'll fall within married or single, head of household, depending upon what my label is, and I'm going to find out what my bracket is. Now, I might say, hey, I'm in this bracket, I'm below the top part of that little bracket. So there could be headroom here, right? Okay, so if I could maybe do the conversion over maybe 2-3 years and stay within I wouldn't be paying more than I'm paying now.
Right, yeah, you don't want to peek your head over that next bracket unless you can absolutely not avoid it.
And by the way, just a little heads up for all of our listeners, I cannot tell you how many Roth IRA conversions I've seen where they have done what we call bracket bumping. You're going up into the next bracket, or even sometimes 2 brackets up. I think it's unnecessary. Before you make your conversion from a qualified plan to your Roth, always find out what your tax bracket is. Call guys like Jamie up. They'll tell you, this is your number. This is it. Do not go ahead and let somebody go ahead and make this exchange. And then you find out, wow, I got bumped into 2 brackets, higher tax bracket, and it'll be tough to overcome even in the long haul of retirement. So just keep that in mind. All right, that's enough preaching on that side. Okay, so I'm not going to bracket bump. I'm making the conversion. I'm going to have to pay my medicine here, my ordinary income tax. I'm going to have to pay it.
It's true.
Once I'm done, maybe it takes me 3 years to convert. Maybe it takes me 5 years to convert. I don't know, however long. Now I've converted it over. I paid my little bit of medicine here. I had to take my castor oil, and I've done it. Now, how did I pay for that? Remember, I gave my liquid cash to buy this policy out.
The one place you do not want to pay for it is with the actual funds you just turned into a Roth.
That's exactly right. So how do I do that?
Well, there's a couple options you have. One is you can look at that life insurance policy that's now outside of the plan, and you could take a loan from that, just as we discussed before. Borrow from your own life insurance policy.
To pay the Roth tax.
To pay the Roth tax.
Got it. Now, is my interest rate pretty convenient? Is it pretty consumer-centered?
Yeah, it's extremely consumer-centered because you're paying yourself back, essentially.
It's your contract.
Yep, it's your contract. It's a reasonable interest rate. You have the potential to earn money on that money that you borrowed with the concept of arbitrage that we talked about in a previous segment. So if you're charged 5% internally inside your own policy and you earn 7%, you still are earning a 2% arbitrage on top of the funds that you borrowed to pay this tax.
Okay, now let me walk through the chronology. I want to make sure stop me if I'm making a mistake.
Sure.
So I already have my contract. I'm ready now. I already bought my contract out. My life insurance is outside in my name, by the way, not in the profit sharing name.
Yep.
Second part now is I need to convert all the funds inside my profit sharing plan into my Roth IRA.
Right.
To do that, I have to determine my tax bracket. Once I determine it, I know where my headroom is. If I don't have to go to the next bracket up, I'm going to try not to do it.
Of course.
All right. I've done all that. Now I have to pay for my tax. Oh my gosh, I have to pay my taxes now.
Right.
And so I'm now looking, what do I want to do this? and I don't want to actually surrender assets to do this because I might even have more taxes in.
Correct.
So you're saying now I can go to my cash value, and we're using an index universal life count. We're going to borrow from the cash values.
Right.
And generally speaking, that's a very good place to go.
Correct. And the reason, the one thing that I try to get my clients to understand is that your qualified account, that is your profit sharing plan, your 401k, it has a lien against it regardless. And that lien is owned by the government. And whatever that lien is, it depends on what the tax rate is at the time. But what we're doing is we're saying we're taking this lien that the government has on your money, on your qualified assets, and we're going to replace it for a known quantity, which in this case is we're saying we're going to pay that tax with this fixed, knowable loan from the insurance policy. And what that does is that just creates this massive decrease in expenses over the lifetime of the remainder of your lifetime.
So you may be paying a little bit of tax up front, but you're reducing your tax liability into the future.
Into the future.
Okay, so which is a big issue. Now, I just want to bring this up just so full disclosure. If you're 62 and you live in America and under the current code, you could also, if you said, hey, I could borrow from my policy like we've been talking about, but you could borrow from your home equity conversion mortgage under HUD and insured by the FHA. You could take money out of that and also pay the taxes. And you don't have to pay it back. Shocking. There's the shocker.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, to me, so I don't know, should I take it for my HECM loan or should I take it for a policy? But either way, I like the ability to not surrender assets to pay for the conversion from my profit sharing plan to my Roth IRA. Okay, now, let's say I've made the payment now. I've made the payment. All right, I'm done. I'm happy. All my cash value is going to come out free. My Roth is going to come out free. And neither of those two distributions, if I'm understanding, will have an ordinary income tax. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And let me go one step further. Social Security provisional income test?
No provisional income.
No provisional income test. So what did I just do here? I just converted. I had to pay a little bit of tax here. I had to pay, I don't know how little, but I had to pay some tax here to get this done. But in the long haul of the longevity of most Americans in their retirement period, this is going to be huge.
It's going to be
payback.
Huge. Absolutely. It's you're taking a large bucket of your money that is tax deferred that you're going to owe a bunch of money on, and you're basically negating that. And it does cost something to do it, but the fact that you're doing it now and not later when you're retired, tax rates may be higher. It just has a huge effect on both the income you can take into the future for your lifestyle to pay the bills, to go take a vacation, or wealth to heirs, which is equally as important to some people. And if you want to pass along a larger estate with either via trust, we can set this all up estate tax efficiently. This is a great option to do that.
So I can really, can I say this on the air? If I did this right, and if all my qualified plans went, remember I took the money from my 401k and my IRA, I put it into the profit sharing plan, I did my conversion, am I saying that I may not have any RMDs to play with at age 70?
That's correct.
So I'm not only doing everything you just said, I'm eliminating RMDs from this.
Completely.
Unbelievable. If I don't have any qualified money and I don't have RMDs, then my Social Security, I'm not being bumped into Tier 2 or Tier 1.
Nope, because they can tax up to 85% of your Social Security if you have high enough provisional income.
Well, believe you me, I have a lot of clients that are in that and they don't like paying it. Don't forget to watch our next segment on significantly reducing taxes on RMDs and Social Security, Part 5 in our series on tax-favored retirement strategies. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.